Hi everyone, I am so excited to be back finally on my YouTube channel. I have big news. I finished my Kauai 2019. I say that like I'm going back anytime soon. But yes, it's from last September, my 10-year anniversary trip I took with my husband. I finished my album. So here she is. This is the binding. I used a Heidi Swapp 8.5 by 11. So there's some keychains I picked up. Do a little label. And this is the front. And I am super excited to share it. I started back in July 2020, right after I finished my December daily. And once again, it takes me like a 6-month minimum, apparently, to finish anything. But it is finished. So I talked a little bit about this album when I was a guest on the Scrapbook Your Way podcast with Jennifer Wilson back in November of this year. So if you want to hear a little more about the just like process behind it, feel free to check out her podcast. It's free and it's awesome. So anyway, I'll still give a little insight into what I did. Basically, I went through, picked out all the photos I wanted to use first, the ones I was pretty sure I wanted. Did a lot of work on the computer in Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop, just figuring out my layouts, either the photos I wanted to use blown up, or you'll see in a minute, I did some what I call faux pocket pages where I basically gridded out if there was a large amount of photos I wanted to use at once, or some photos just for traditional pages. So there's a fun mix in here. So this was applied in Adobe Illustrator. That you can use Photoshop as well. I just use Illustrator for work, so I'm more comfortable there. So we'll get started. Here we are taking off from the airport. Gosh, just feels so long ago just because it's such a foreign concept now with all the things that have changed since. I'm so happy that we were able to take this trip when we did. It was so well timed given what was to come shortly after. So this was just a fun little, I loved, this was from a Prima collection, Not All Those Who Wander Are Lost. And it was just, there was so, you guys know how this is, at least for me anyway. I get all excited about whatever project I have. I buy all the things and it's way too much. But there's certain things I just loved and I wanted to include. So I tried to kind of take the vibe of December Daily and put little fun bits here and there. Stamped that out. Some fun postcards that I picked up. This was, so my husband and I, it was our 10-year anniversary trip, like I mentioned, and we started a tradition a while ago where we, whatever we celebrate, or wherever we go when we celebrate our anniversary, we try to pick up a star ornament because our wedding theme was stars and stars are our thing. So anyway, we found this in the airport at the layover in Honolulu, which was super exciting because it was the perfect. And then funny story about that, last year, so Christmas 2019, right after we did this trip, we misplaced it. We couldn't find it and it wasn't on our tree last year, but I made sure we found it for this year. And then we put it away and I had meant to photograph it, so I had my husband drag it back out again just a couple weeks ago. So anyway, that's why I'm so hyped and excited about that. Anyway, you'll have seen, if you came here from Instagram, first of all, welcome. I'm glad you found me over on YouTube, and you may have seen me post some of these pages on my Instagram. But I did a little bit of working outside the page protector. So these are our flight details. I thought that was kind of fun. I just poked a brad through there. This is an Allie Edwards piece. So this is an example of a faux pocket page where I did the layout on the computer and just printed it out on one piece of photo paper and then left blanks here and here for embellishing. So there's real embellishment here, real paper, but the photos are just laid out and printed as one. Here's a traditional again. So I tried to do a good mix, and I love this process. Like, this is going to be my process from now on when I know ahead of time a collection of photos I'm going to be using. It just worked really well, and it made it like this was an easy, quick page. This one I got to have more fun. I did a lot more mixed media than I've ever done before. It's subtle, but it's there, and so it was just a really nice mix. This is a set of coasters that I thought would be fun to include. And I showed at the beginning how thick, I mean, this album's pretty much maxed out, and it would have been worse. I had to go through and thin it out, which is basically me looking through, finding any unnecessary dimension, foam layers, basically any extra pop dot kind of things had to go. Chipboard, I peeled it thinner, and it worked barely. So, you know, it was a little sad and a waste of time and fun foam and whatever, but I want this thing to last and not burst at the seams. So anyhow, this is an Allie Edwards piece. This I created myself in Illustrator. If you guys know the Vine, look at all those chickens. It's like look it up, it's funny. There was chickens everywhere, so had to do it. We went and got ice cream before we even got to the hotel. You know, first things first, have to start eating, right? This was a cute, it's actually a Christmas tag, but I don't know if it picks up on the video, but it's like a, you know, she dances. It's cute. I thought the scheme went well here. Added little charms. This is fun. This is a envelope with what I use to include hidden journaling. But essentially, my journaling's on there. But this came printed on the envelope pocket, and I wanted to keep it, so I punched this circle out of my photo. Another full bleed. This is from the balcony of our place, looking over Honolulu Bay. This is a cut file that I backed with vellum. Another photo. This one I didn't touch. I mean, the photos of Hawaii are so beautiful. Sometimes you just need to leave the embellishments off there, right? But showed the pool. Another traditional. Another postcard. This is just silly. I actually took this once we got home, but I wanted to include the photos, or photos, a photo of the t-shirts that we brought back for our kids, especially because they won't fit them forever. So I thought that was a cute way to make sure the kids are still in the book, even though they weren't on the trip. And I put it here because this day we had breakfast and looked out on the town while it was pouring rain, because they have intermittent rainstorms, and then it cleared up and we went shopping and did all that sort of thing for the morning. These are one of my favorites. I love how light and airy this is. This was the first beach visit we did, well, besides stopping on the side of the road after the airport, but it was really fun to just add in some stuff like this. This says, "There's no time to be bored in a world as beautiful as this." I think this is a DCWV. I don't know, I've been holding on to it, and it was just nice to be able to add things. This was funny because it was exactly my floppy hat that I picked up and the bathing suit that I brought, so I had to include those. This is a stamp. So what I did, I tried to just kind of go easy on my first run through, but at the end I did go through, and like I said, if there's anything I really wanted to include, I tried to figure out a way or just see if anything was missing, and this was one of those things. I really liked this stamp, and because of its uniqueness. It's not one that I think I'm going to use over and over and over again, so I did want to make sure I got it in there, and I think it looks cute there. Okay, this was cool. So here's an example. We went and got a massage later in that afternoon. And I don't know about you, I'm not really a massage person. Like, I feel a little awkward and whatnot. So we didn't take any photos. But I included the email and some journaling about our experience. And then in here, I have a pocket of just a postcard that I hadn't included yet, and our cards to each other for our anniversary, because this was kind of a more, I don't know, it was just like a more special romantic anniversary celebration aspect of our trip. And then I went through all the magazines and different pamphlets and whatnot that they gave us, the touristy stuff, and I kept anything that seemed like something I might want to include. And this was a good page filler because a lot of the emails talking about the directions of how to get to this place, because it was kind of a remote, cool, like a raised hut kind of thing in the middle of, it was a really cool ambiance. It was, you know, like we were among the trees, and it was very peaceful, and it was lightly raining and everything. So it was just a very descriptive thing. And so part of what I wanted to do is just give a point of reference of where we went, because it was in Kilauea while we were mostly based in Honolulu. So it's nice to get a map in there. Barracuda was, Barracuda, I think it's pronounced, was one of the places my husband looked up that he wanted to make sure we ate while we were visiting. And it was a really good appetizers, tapas type restaurant. And so I grabbed some info from their online menu and just wanted to remember a little bit of what we ate. And the view was really awesome. So this photo is a blow up of what I could see here from my seat. So it's just kind of a cool memory to pull. This is just an egregious page about me looking at hibiscus flowers and whatnot. Lots of layering. My husband loves coconuts, and this is one of my favorite pages to make. It's really simple, but this is an example for sure where while I was on the trip, I was imagining this page already. All the times and ways that he was able to get coconut. And actually, there's one picture that I'm kind of tempted, I might do a little insert or something. They even had coconut toothpaste. And when we were in one of the grocery stores, I took a quick shot of him holding coconut toothpaste. But he loves coconut, and so he was in heaven being able to drink the coconut on the beach and snack on it and everything. I altered this. It said a pineapple, but I added stickers over, and I like how it actually emphasizes it because it's kind of the joke of the page. A coconut a day keeps the worries away. So that was cool. And then here, there was a lot to say and not a lot of space to journal it. So I tried something else. I'm not sure. It's a little busy for me, so I'm not sure I love it, but the idea of it is worth sharing. So I numbered each photo that had a corresponding journaling bit to talk about, so that I could include both. And then this was special. I talked about this on my Instagram at one point, but we went for our honeymoon 10 years ago, well, at the time 10 years ago, to Greece, and we took these pictures that I loved, and so we kind of recreated them even with the same towel. And it was just fun. So I wanted that little snippet included in here, even though these aren't from the trip. It was relevant to what we were doing. And then I did a separate, just traditional page of these photos. This was stamped with a gradient ink pad, which was pretty cool. So that's that. Snorkeling page. This was kind of a fun technique. I punched out leftover mixed media into circles and layered it on vellum circles and stitched down the center and kind of fluffed them up to give dimension. And then of course sprinkled in my cool epoxy from Scrap and Happy Studio to, you know, create my visual triangle among all the circle action. And I love this fish paper from Bo Bunny. I've been waiting to use this. The colors. Again, a little extra insert to add more journaling. I'll read it for you. Snorkeling near tunnels just north of the Nepali coast. Walking out here from the parking lot and across the hot beach sucked, but we settled in a great spot under the trees in the shade and snorkeled all morning with equipment provided by the condo. We probably saw at least 10 types of fish and really enjoyed ourselves. We discovered if we held hands, we could explore together, which made it more fun. I burnt my butt pretty badly, though. Didn't think about bathing suit shift. So we had a great time, and brace yourself because here's a butt shot. This is how badly I burnt myself. So I thought it was just a cute little add-in. And I can't believe I'm putting it on the internet, but there it is. So there's just all these perfect sun on buns, and then some ironic, or, what's the word? Sarcastic, super fun times. I'm going to soak up the sun. Sun kissed, well, it's a little more than sun kissed. Censored for mature eyes only. Cute. So, and then of course the paper is all the bathing beauties in the water. I'm super into like everything having exact meaning and making sense for the page, and that's why it takes me so long. So this is from a Bo Bunny die cut pack that goes with the fish paper, and I was able to include this little diver guy, and this was just another real beautiful. This one I kind of struggled. I wanted to embellish a teeny bit, and I think I got it there, but I spent so much time on this. Again, the stamp with the gradient ink pad. But yeah, this is where we snorkeled, and it was a lot of fun. Okay, this is, afterwards we went through downtown Honolulu, and they had this really good little cart called, well, it's permanent, but it's kind of cart style, or food truck style stand, that type of thing, called Wishing Well. If you ever go, you should definitely check that out if you're into like cold brew or just good coffee. But it was also shaved ice, so my husband's happy. He doesn't drink coffee, but I do. It was a good little spot for us, and they had all these cool stickers, like bumper sticker type things, and so I was excited to include those. Eat, beach, sleep, repeat. That pretty much was the trip. And what was neat too is a mason jar style glass, and they let you keep it. So I padded that into my luggage and took it home. I love having my coffee out of it. This was really beautiful with the sunset from our place, and again with the hidden journaling up here with the pocket and the punch through, same technique. Okay, and then this was fun. This was like one of the tackier touristy type restaurants we went to that just had, it was kind of like the tiki room at Disneyland, similar, but it was fun. They were known for all their crazy drinks. And again, I just included, I did an outside of the page flip up here to include extra photos, journaling. I thought that was kind of fun. All right, this was I told my husband I'm not that into hiking. Like, I don't know, I'd rather run than hike, get it over with. But if we're in the water, if water's involved, I'm all about, physical activity kind of stuff. So he signed us up for a kayak excursion, and we'd never done this before, and it was super fun. I really recommend it. It was guided. There was a tour guide, who basically took us on the river out to the ocean. We had a short period where we went through the ocean and curved over to a beach. They provided a picnic lunch. We snorkeled, and then we came back, and it was so fun. So this is just showing, this is when we're still in the river, and I cut this out, designed and cut this out myself on my silhouette portrait. Another photo that just needs to be left alone. So pretty. And this is just a collage of all the different things we did once we got to the beach. My husband held an octopus and it inked everywhere. It was disgusting. But I made note in my journaling 10 years ago when we were in Greece, he was eating grilled octopus. So, you know, you can't get away from it, I guess. This is a fun shaker pocket I did on my add-in to include all my journaling. Fun quotes. I just love this from Prima. Really cool style. This is where I journal about the octopus. Like I said, I have to include, you know, it has to all make sense for every detail. There's another bumper sticker type thing we got from that coffee shop. It says Honolulu. I don't know if it's the best spot ever, but it's not. It's on the page protector, so, you know, and I have digital copies of all these photos too, so I'm not that worried about quote-unquote wrecking the photo, but so you can see there, it's on the page protector. So, I thought that was a cool shot. And then, of course, we had to eat some more. So there was like a food truck courtyard type thing in town at Honolulu, and really good coconut shrimp. You can hardly tell what that is, but it's a little frog in the grass near the kayak place. And then our guide made each of the girls or women in the group, everyone was younger than us, that's why I say girls. It was really weird. My husband and we were 36 at the time, and we were the oldest people in the group. But anyway, the guide made each of us a palm flower, and I put it in my hair. Adding little bits here and there. This was a nice dinner we had planned that was closer. We drove closer to the Nepali coast and got a different view from there. And I just loved doing this subtle mixed media in the background. I use a lot of Heidi Swapp stuff. I believe these are from Art Walk, or I don't know, I use some old school stuff too, but anyway, it's Heidi Swapp. A perfect way to end the day. It's like perfect embellishment for that, so that was fun. This day we drove down to the south coast of Kauai and checked out, gosh, this was so good. It was like a fried rice breakfast thing. Super good. My husband wanted to snorkel, but the water was super choppy and rough, so I didn't want to go there, and he said he was getting tossed around quite a bit. It wasn't really worth it. A little flip up here to have our journaling, but this was a fun day. This is a little view of the drive down, which I actually screen grabbed this from a video, so don't forget to do that if you feel like you forgot to take a photo of something. It turns out fine. But it was a really cool tunnel of trees that you drove through. I want to include that again with the map, because this was like, I wasn't quite sure, and I think it breaks it up nicely and kind of gives it that more scrapbooky feel, especially for a trip album, a vacation album. And again, it shows context of, you know, we were based up here in Honolulu, and we had to drive all the way down here to past the airport, Poipu, which was, I forget, it's just an hour or so drive. It's not as bad as it might look. And let's see here. this page is a little crazy, but I couldn't stop. I used Amy Tangerine stuff, and it was a halfway up. Where was it? I think it was in Wailua, somewhere near there. There's food trucks and carts and things everywhere, and it's really hard not to stop and try all the things, but they had really good shaved ice here, so I thought my title was cute, Shaved Ice and Chill. And I did a lot of stamping and kind of went for it there. This was a nice dinner we had. Also, I don't know if you've noticed, but I tried to indicate this Heidi Swapp album is cool because it comes with these pages that have these black border bottoms, these journaling prompts, which most of the time I ignored them, sometimes I used them, and then I stamped in the date here when I could. Another postcard. These were great opportunities to add like that one extra little thing that's a little too random to put on your page itself, but you still want to include it. So I definitely recommend, it doesn't have to be a postcard, you can add your own thing. And then these, I forgot to mention these, there's Felicity Jane and Citrus Twist offers these. They're like adhesive here, and you can include things pretty easily that way with those. So this was our view during the day, because I had sunset ones, but I wanted a morning shot from our condo that we rented. Another one, this is like from inside the bedroom looking out. And then I just did some journaling because I didn't really have, every year we watch Big Brother. I don't know if there's any Big Brother fans out there, but we watch every year, and it's always around our anniversary, the finale. And so I was talking about just the condo and how we enjoyed it, and then also talking about watching the finale of Big Brother, which was fun. Another one of me with hibiscus. This was our last morning, and I just went for it with the mixed media stamping, and I think it turned out really pretty. It was just kind of a soft, for fun type of page. These metal pieces I picked up at the airport. They're, I think, magnets, but they're pretty light and easy to include. All right, and then this was our last lunch in Poipu. We drove down to the airport, and this was in town outside the airport. Did some stamping here, a little charm here. It's a little bit, you can see it moves. A little charm, the palm tree. Enjoyed our lunch. Wrote about that. And then this is kind of cool. This is a piece of ephemera from some jewelry I ordered or something, but it came with like the tree silhouette, this airplane. This was all already on it. And I thought, oh, I could definitely use this for something. So I just covered up anything that was like branding with more ephemera and whatnot that I wanted to use. So, you know, it says fun while it lasted, always choose adventure, let's do that again. Destination home, with the airplane leaving the island, and travel notes. And then on here, I just wanted to do a little something. So the more of this, please. Another one of those Ali Edwards journaling pockets. It says worth every mile. A little, just like thank you note, basically, to my husband of how I appreciated this trip so much, and we were so lucky to do it, and how we missed the kids, but it was good for us. And then I love this quote: you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. If any of you have been married for any length of time, you know there's ups, there's downs, there's challenges, especially when you had kids in the mix. And this was just an awesome opportunity for us to reconnect, and I feel so lucky that we did it when we did, that we have my parents who could watch the kids for us and everything else, because I know even some of my close personal friends do not have the luxury of that situation. So I'm just so happy to have this album where I can remember everything about the trip and just remind myself that things are good. Life is good, even when it's hard. So this is a Project Life folder, and I cut off the flap that closes because it's just not necessary in this case. And I decorated this up. This is funny, it said Fly Hawaiian Air. It was one of the postcards I hadn't used yet, and it was perfect. I just included our ticket information, well, our ticket printouts. And it's kind of cool because I found this paper, and it's blanking. I'm blanking right now what the brand is. It's a travel line. Might be Fancy Pants. God, I can't remember. But I liked the, boarding info aspect to it. And on the back, I have our hotel information. So I put hotel check-in, travel, take me somewhere. And it just has like the map of the grounds of the resort we stayed at, and our condo information maps, that kind of thing. So that was very neat to include as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed being able to see this album. I've been chattering about it on Instagram for a while, and when I was looking for inspiration, I didn't see a whole heck of a lot out there online for this type of album, certainly not in this style. So hopefully it can provide a little inspiration for really any kind of trip album that you're looking to create. And yeah, on to the next. I am thinking about diving into my December daily. So from the beach to, well, we don't have snow here, but the cold. So thanks for checking it out. I will see you next time.